I'd like to call the meeting to order. We'd all stand for the Lord's Prayer. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Hum,
Present.
Mr. Garwood,
Here.
and Mr. Minor.
Here. Fellas, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes of November 20th, 2014?
I have, sir, and I move the motion to be approved as presented.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
We'll stand approved as presented. Nice minutes, Pat.
Thank you.
Best in
That one was a little bit confusing, but it's okay. I really don't have anything much. I did bring the information about the fire contracts. I always hesitate to throw this away. It's the Ohio Township Association Risk Management Authority wanting nominations, etc., or vote or something on board members. Is anybody interested in? I didn't think so, but I wanted to make sure. I think it's choose 2 candidates to serve 4-year terms. They may already have them. Apparently they already have the people. I don't know. But I wanted to make sure that you didn't want that. But I really don't have anything.
Fire contracts, you guys want to talk about them? Because you'd indicated that the levy brings in $123,800.
What was that, 127?
123,800.
$123,800.
That's what was certified this year. So I'm assuming it'll be close to that.
123, what?
800.
123,800. And we spent last year 110,761 on contracts. Which New Waterford's the only one that is up presently, come January. Latonia is, what's the due date on that? March,
I think we
maybe?
got 2 more years on Latonia.
Right, but I meant when it's paid, due and payable, though, I think, I forget when it is.
March, I think
I have it, March 16th, 2014 was the last one.
Waterford's last year, Pat.
Waterford's amount?
Yes, last year.
We sent them a check on 4/1 for $47,762.
That's going to be him.
Oh, that's what I thought. You said, Waterford, excuse me. Last year we paid $35,000.
And that was where we had a partial year.
Split.
Yeah.
Right.
Retro back from
Yeah.
May or something, wasn't it?
Right.
Let me just find I did print the resolution off here. Village of Latonia.
How much have we paid? Waterford?
Last year was 35.
The last line says, the authorized me to issue a check for $35,000 payable to Village of New Waterford to fulfill the township's financial responsibility for fire protection effective January 1, 2014. So that was a full year. The year before that, we must have, 23,000 runs in my mind.
Yeah, it was a
Half, it was a split, yeah.
So the letter that was sent to me that I passed on to everyone, one option is to do it 1 year, and the second option is to do a 3-year contract where the price is fixed at $35,000 for 3 years, each year for a total of $105,000. So, what do you guys want to do? Because Pat, you're okay with it being due the way it is.
I have enough right now left, it's not an issue until,
I think do it.
So you want to do the 3-year?
I think we lock in for 3 years because it
Why
seems
not?
like every year incrementally they come back for more
Yeah.
money each year. And if we can lock 3 years, we at least know where.
I'm okay with that. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't check when that contract, or when our levy was due. I was going to do that and I forgot, but
Yeah, like 3 more years on it.
I don't know. I was going to look at that and I didn't. So you wanted, your proposal, somebody's is 3 years at $35 a year?
For a total of 105.
Right, but due and payable on January 1 of each year, right? The first
Right.
meeting of January? You okay with me doing it that way? They don't have to have it in their hand day 1, do they?
I would hope they would work with us.
I mean, they want to fight about a few days. I don't think they would.
Well, we don't have, they have to pass the ordinance, get it to us.
Right.
We got to sign it and that. But yeah, it's from January 1st, 2015 through December 31st, 2017, for a total cost of 105.
So we won't go back and revisit these each January because we'll just let it go the full 3 years, right? So what we're going to propose to them is to accept it as it is, and then they have to draw,
Right, they'll have to do an ordinance like they've done in
Right.
the past and get it to us.
you want to put that in the form of a resolution? To propose that to them? Wait.
Yeah.
Second.
Oh, my goodness. Mr. Hum,
Yes.
Mr. Garwood,
Yes.
and Mr. Minor.
Yes.
That'll be resolution number 2014-101.
Because we're probably going to have, what, 2 more meetings yet before the end of the year.
Well, we know we're having one more, and I'm not quite positive, but if we can do that, cleans up everything if we can. Last year, we had so many things with that road thing to get straightened around the last
Right.
meeting. That was more important, so it depends how much headway I make between now and next meeting. Is everybody be available sometime before the year end?
Yeah, I'll be around.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay. You're not going away, Carla? Are you going away?
Yeah, that happened the first of the year.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll know that next meeting.
Sorry.
Okay.
No.
Oh, well, we had a tree come down across the road on Signal there early in the AM on 11/24 when we had the high winds there. We cleaned it up, chipped up the brush, and went around and gathered up several other limbs about the township that had come down in that windstorm. Following that, we did the November sign inspection at the same time of checking all the roadways for limbs and trees and wind damage. I've had to make some repairs to the 96 International. I had to put a power steering pump on it, being the biggest thing. Some other small things like temperature sending unit, an inversion valve, and I also had the new tires put on it that I got the PO for last meeting. Put the new strobe lights and LED backup lights on the 2008.
Backup lights?
Yeah, it just had some, we put LED ones like the 2 newer ones have. It makes much better for backing around at night. And we were out 3 times for snow control, once for snow and twice for freezing rain. We've also been out doing some culvert work and cleaning ditches on various roads about the township. And I mailed the signed ODOT 505 and our permits that we signed last meeting to Ratu on 11/21 for the intersection widening. I also met with Steve Burgess from Earth Acquisitions about the possible gas line crossings and gave him right-of-way permits and culvert permit forms, but he's not submitted anything back to me as of yet.
Tell me again, it's Steve Burgess about the gas line crossings, is that what you're saying?
Possible gas line crossings for the gathering lines. Okay? And then, lastly, on Monday, the 1st, I was going across Kelly Park up here between Middleton Road and Route 7, and there was quite a gathering at the Marathon gas line there, so I stopped as there were several people in an excavator being unloaded, and I spoke to the foreman. They're putting sleeves over top of repairs that had been made years ago. This is a better technique, he said, of making sure they don't get a problem in the same area. And there's multiple places across the line that they're putting these sleeves over top of. When I stopped to talk to him, he thought the repairs would be back in the field based on where the marks were from the GPS markings. And so we talked for a little bit. I gave him my number, told him to call me if anything changed. They called me the next morning, and the markings were off. They're actually going to have to dig right alongside the road in the right-of-way and even out into the pavement some to be able to get down to where they need to make this repair.
What road is that on, Kelly Park?
Kelly Park. So I went out and met with him. He showed me what was going on, what the plan was. They're actually going to have to close one lane of the road to do this, and they think they'll have it closed for about 3 days. He kind of said maybe about closing the whole road. I said, well, if we can keep one lane open, that would be much more preferable. So they were on board with that. So we talked about, the need, and it's right on that hill there. So they were going to set up some Jersey barriers around the dig area. And I told them as far as traffic control and signage would be per ODOT specs. So anyway, they covered the hole back up where they had dug and wasn't in the right spot, and they were going to move upstream to make some repairs until they could get the signage, barriers, and that type of stuff brought to Kelly Park. He thought next Tuesday, the 9th, they would be able to return to do this work. And one of the guys from the office called me too, and I had him fill out our right-of-way permit form, just so that everything we discussed about is in writing on there, as far as traffic control being to ODOT specs and signage, and making a temporary repair to the pavement, and then coming back in the spring to make a permanent repair to the pavement, and to keep one traffic lane open. So, is there anything else you guys think I need to address there?
My only concern now is being one lane, you almost have to maintain flat lights.
Well, yes, that's what we discussed, putting up the traffic lights.
Because just signage won't do that.
Right, and it's right on that hill.
So if traffic lights is where the route they're going to go, I would be comfortable with that. But
Yeah.
nothing else.
That's what we that is what we discussed, was advanced signage about talking about it, but then traffic lights blocking the lane.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as they have those lights out, that's fine.
Okay.
They have to.
Yeah, because it said
Signs up and they use the signals that would be under that manual. That would
right,
work.
because they said the two options are as a flagger or lights, which we're not going to have, because they have a flagger there for 3 days. So then we said about setting up the traffic lights.
So they'll set up similar to the bridge on 344.
Yes. So,
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
I mean,
When you first got, I had visions of this orange fencing and blinking lights, and we were going to have a wreck.
yeah, no, we were, thoroughly discussed it, and, everything to be done to ODOT specs as far as maintaining traffic and signage and putting up the lights.
Who is this for?
Marathon,
Marathon.
yeah.
You're going to get me a
Because
copy.
it gets dark so early now, you gotta have the traffic
Yep.
lights.
And they had no problem with it. I mean, they were very cooperative and good to talk to. I mean, they called me several times, they were right in touch with me about everything, so.
They're not gonna have any problems getting the power.
I would suppose they would do generator, would be my, I would guess.
But didn't they run a line out there?
Out there for the duration, but then they do make those with the diesel generator.
He thought it'd be a maximum of 3 days by the time they dig down, and then they have to do some welding, and it has to set for so long before they can backfill it and things like that. So. I did have them do the right-of-way permit, just as we've done with other things.
Do we need a motion?
2014, let me just...
I mean, there's some drawings in here if you guys would want to
102.
look at them, but they're basically just pictures of where it's going to happen. There's,
Well, I'd like a copy.
Sure.
I can write this up later if you just give me this after it's a copy, after it's signed, then I can keep my notes here.
Sure.
It'd be Resolution 2014-102. Approving the road right-of-way, or they call it a road right-of-way, don't they? Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Second.
Permit to work with them.
And then we'll have to revisit it. Just put that on the calendar for the 90 days.
Yep.
Mr. Hung?
Yes.
Mr. Garwood?
Yes.
Mr. Minor?
Yes.
That's all I have.
Yeah, I'm reading this right. The fire levy, the first year was 2013, last year was 2017.
That would say that we collected through 2017.
So we gotta put it on the ballot in 2016.
16, I would say. That's what I'm looking at. I didn't pull this, but because it always pays one more year after.
Right. So not this coming year, but the following year.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to decide. Because one year we did the road levy first, and then the following year we did the...
Fire. We used to do them both at once, but we split them out. But that one we got, it was down to the nitty-gritty when we did that.
Yeah. So next year we'll have to talk about that, whether we want to put them both at the same time or what.
Mhm.
For 2016.
I can research that. The road and fire levy, huh? I didn't print off that. Oh, wait a minute, maybe I did.
It's not on that thing.
Oh, it's not. Road improvement and fire.
It doesn't have a date, it just has...
The fire down, I'm sorry,
Sorry,
Carl, you need to sign it.
down here, Bob, it says fire levy authorized by voters in 12. And road improvement was in 11.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to pay attention to that next year. Maybe we ought to put the road levy on next year. Fall.
As soon as we're able to, huh? For the first chance we get.
Right.
Boy, that rolls around in a big hurry, doesn't it?
And are we going to use today as the inspection date?
As an inspection date or this?
We're valid for 90 days from today.
Yeah, let's use today's date.
Today.
Yeah.
What did that make? I don't
Carl?
I'll just take a copy, then I can write my...
Sure, I have nothing to say. Everything's just been going just great. And I'm just as proud as possible, our road crew,
Thank you, Carl.
and the job they're doing. That's outstanding.
They're the envy of the county. Fair,
I talked to Chad Harrell down at
yes.
the development agency, and basically, they can digitize our maps, sort of zoning mapping. Yes. Anything that we need to have digitized for mapping, he has contacts at the WASH, they will do that for us. Some of the stuff that we're looking at, we had a seed-based presentation, a lot of that, we heard that, has in no way wanted to interfere with what they had going on with, in our discussion, I think, county commissioners funded that office for that purpose.
Right.
So I think it would be probably in the township's best interest to work with the county's office of development. I haven't sat down with them to go over particulars. I just had a phone call with him, just kind of seeing all what they would do.
Instead of seed-based, you mean?
Yeah. It would be, a lot of it would just be some data collection, from our zoning. Where's our commercial area, where's our industrial areas, which is pretty much defined because of zoning. So a lot of it would just be sitting down with them and probably maybe even getting Kim involved in some of it, on how she would like that map to see if it would stay the same, or whether she would like to color code it differently, or however, I'm sure that they could do about whatever we would like to see with Kim's input also. So.
Well, the resources are there, why not use them? Why take on the additional expense? And I'm not putting one against the other,
No,
it's just,
exactly.
it's there, so let's use it. Okay. Well, maybe, wonder if Tad is willing to come to a meeting?
He may. I had thought about that even before I came here tonight, what would be the best way to interact, and I'm sure Tad may. The gentleman, that Richie, he's a intern down there. He actually is graduating from YSU, so he has limited hours, but I'm sure Tad would be able to fit it in his schedule, maybe come talk to us about it.
Or just set up a meeting between him and Kim and whatever. He could probably put together because I think he lives up in Mahoney County somewhere. Maybe he could just put together a written presentation and submit it to us. We could go from there.
Yeah, I'll talk to him again.
Well, I'd rather go with him than a commercial entity.
Well, we've talked about this too, and you mentioned the portal, where we're going to contact them. They're going to come, we're going to go to the economic development department, we're going to go to the portal for mechanisms that are already set up within the county structure.
Right. That's how it's working in the past.
Yes.
And that's what all the oil and gas people are doing.
Yes.
Anything else?
That's all I got. Oh, no, one more thing. I got a letter in the mail today from Auditor Yost, and I just want to congratulate you on your exemplary report.
You got the letter.
Well, I don't know if it was a letter, but it was an official book and everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got the, I got one of those. Okay.
So
It
just-
confirms what we went through. Yeah.
Yes. So my hat's off to you for the job that you do for this board, and also the
Thank you.
residents of the township, Pat, because you do a
Thank
fabulous
you.
job.
I know sometimes I'm a little slow, but I get there.
When it says amounts agreed and no exceptions, does that mean you did good?
Depends what you're accepting, I guess.
And every place in there, Pat, it says the same thing,
Yes.
no exceptions.
Yeah. Well, thanks for recognizing it, because this can be a...
But what cracked me up was on page 1. This report only describes exceptions exceeding $10.
$10.
Yeah, so I guess if you screwed up less than $10, they don't care. Did you see that?
I really, you know what? It's terrible, but
I got a hoot out of that.
Now, I'm sorry, I did tell you that next time it'll be a full-blown audit,
How
which,
much do you figure that's going to run?
I don't know.
You were talking 5,000 or 20,000?
Oh, no, it won't cost that. It won't cost 20,000. We've had them before, and then as long as you have no issues, they allow you to do this for 2 years.
Right.
And then they dig into everything more thoroughly, which involves making sure the bonds and everything, all the bells and whistles,
Right.
all that stuff's in place, which
Anything else?
I don't have anything to...
Mary Ann?
Just good job for everybody. Pat and Al, trustees,
Not much going on at the golf course?
not much picking up sticks from the window.
I think everybody's doing that.
And Western Reserve, you're going to make sure that what we did with the Water Fire Department is going to be in the Salem News tomorrow?
Larry will probably be calling him later.
Oh, okay, what happened? Hey, come on, what happened? All right, well, motion to adjourn?
So moved.